Inspiration.com.
Movie theater releases used to be the place where respected actors and directors would go in order to get the best quality work out. TV was not the place to go. There was such a time where the TV movie was shit. That is not the case anymore. The case is increasingly becoming that well-respected actors and directors have to go to television or streaming in order to make anything of substance. Theatrical releases, they're too consumed with, well, let's face it, Disney movies. Disney is releasing all of the movies now. They're all action movies. They're all summer blockbusters. Summer now is just January to December. That's used to be like May, June, and July were the months that you released the big action movies. And then November, December, you released the Oscar bait movies. Now it's just one big long summer with blockbusters coming out every week. No room for thoughtful, insightful movies, at least very rarely. So people sort of look at the beloved actors of yesteryear and they say, they haven't made a good movie in a long time. One such actor is Robert De Niro. De Niro does, you go to the theater and you see Bad Grandpa or whatever that was called. Him and Zac Efron, going hitting on girls during spring break. And it's shit, and everybody's like, De Niro's washed up. No, De Niro, like Pacino, and like Dustin Hoffman, and like many of the respected actors of yesteryear, has taken their quality acting and moved to cable and to streaming. And De Niro turned in a performance that, if it had come out in theaters, probably would have gotten him an Oscar nomination. The Wizard of Lies. This came out on HBO about 2 years ago. And he plays Bernie Madoff in it. And he's exceptional. So is Michelle Pfeiffer as his wife in the movie. These are two exceptional performances that probably would have gotten Oscar nominations had this come out in the theater. But this kind of movie can't come out in the theater anymore. Now, every now and then you get a movie like The Big Short. But The Big Short, even in The Big Short, they sort of acknowledge it, with these cutaways to celebrities. There's Margot Robbie in a bathtub telling you about, the real estate bubble. And they make a joke about, like, the only way you'll pay attention to this is if we have Margot Robbie in a bathtub. At least on streaming and on cable, especially HBO, movies can take chances, and they can make thoughtful, grown-up feature films. Wizard of Lies, again, it's De Niro as Bernie Madoff. I will admit I don't know a lot about Bernie Madoff. It's just one of those things in the news that it just doesn't interest me too much. I don't have any money in stocks. I don't invest. I don't watch the stock market. So those kind of things I don't really look at too much. But basically, he created the biggest Ponzi scheme ever and destroyed the lives of everyone who trusted him with their money. Because when the time came, he didn't have any money. It was all, taking money and moving it to this person and then taking their money and moving it here, and you know, the illusion that this money was being invested in these rich people were getting richer was just that. It was an illusion. It wasn't real. None of it was real. And when that happened, it destroyed a lot of people who put their pensions and their life's fortune into his care, and it was all lost. Now, I will say up front, they show sort of, there's a part where they're showing people who were affected, and they show this woman, and, the narration is saying, in the span of 50 seconds, when she gets the letter, she goes from a multimillionaire to ruined and broke, destitute. I don't feel sorry for her. You see a lot of very, very greedy people in this movie. A lot of rich people who are trying to figure out how to get richer. A lot of, there's a part where this one guy wants in with Madoff. And he goes, I'm going to give you $100 million. And Bernie Madoff, no, I don't have time for it. I can't do it. 100, okay, 150. No, I can't. 175. 200. 300. And Bernie Madoff says, you do 400. We got a deal. This guy has $400 million to just give away to invest. And why wasn't he just satisfied with that? That's $400 million he has to just put in an investment, which must mean he has more money than that, like, maybe another $200 million to just continue to live his life. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for that guy. Be happy with what you have, rich people, because the rest of us don't have what you have, and I'm not gonna shed any tears because that guy now maybe has to work at Burger King, even though that's not ever what happens to those people. Those people always seem to somehow still stay at least comfortable. They always seem to stay wealthy. Which the whole other thing. But the movie itself, De Niro plays he's this guy who's so tightly wound because he knows at any second everything can just crumble. All it takes is one person pulling their money out, and the whole thing blows up, and he'll be exposed. And it mostly deals with the fallout. The movie opens with him being exposed, and then there's flashbacks showing certain things, but it opens with him being exposed and the fallout from that and what that did to his family. Now, I will also say, again, not knowing much about this, that his wife and children are presented in a very sympathetic light. They didn't know what he was doing, and their lives are ruined by what he did. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that if this is just the angle that the movie decided to take, and the sons and the wife didn't know. Maybe they didn't know. I don't know, but there's something about it that just sort of made me want to say that. Like, I'm not going to give these people like, oh, no, they were innocent. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But this is the angle the movie is taking. And it just destroys them. It destroys his family, destroys the people who trusted him. It's part of, he goes to prison for it. And De Niro, the whole time, he's so tightly wound. He's ready to snap at any second. But when they come for him, he plays it like he's kind of almost relieved. And up to the end of the movie, is always trying to pass the blame around, trying to figure out, well, no, these people were greedy, so they have some responsibility. Well, no, this person, he kind of knew what he was doing, so he's got some responsibility, and he doesn't want to take it, and he doesn't want to own it. and he just can't face it. He can't face the magnitude of what he's done. And De Niro plays it so brilliantly. You know, you do a top 10 actors of all time, and De Niro's got to be on that list. And between this, what he did in The Irishman for Netflix, you see that he still has that. He still has that what he gave us in Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Awakenings, and Goodfellas. He still has that. Just mainstream theatrical movies aren't giving him a chance to show that talent, which is sad. I mean, there's a lot of talk right now about, theaters being shut down, what's going to happen, after, we're able to, things are going to get back to normal and the theaters are going to reopen. But by then, people will kind of have had weeks or months even of a lot of movies being released straight to VOD or streaming. And will they be as ready to go into the movies, man? I mean, you get there, the tickets have cost you an arm and a leg. The concessions cost you even more than that. You go on a date to the movies, you end up spending almost $50. And that's not counting if you go to IMAX or if you go to, some of these, the bigger theaters. And is it worth it? Is it worth it? And you say, well, you gotta see the Marvel movies. You gotta see those on the big screen. You gotta see whatever the big blockbusters are. You gotta see them on the big screen. Do you? Do you really? Avengers Endgame. I saw it on the big screen. Very impressive. Very impressive movie on the big screen. I saw it once. Since then, I've watched that movie probably 3 or 4 times. On my TV, in my living room. It's a 3-hour movie. I have my own food. I can eat whatever I want. Doesn't cost me anything. I can pause it and go to the bathroom. There's nobody talking behind me. There's nobody's cell phone going off. And yeah, you don't have the grand spectacle of movie, of cinema, which would be a loss. But as people's sound systems get better, the TVs get better, and the movies get more repetitive in nature, last week I talked about Terminator, Dark Fate. Terminator Genesis comes out. This is Terminator 3. Forget the last 2 movies. This is Terminator 3. Oh, nobody liked that. We're going to wait 3 years, and then we're going to do this. This is Terminator 3. Because you guys didn't like that. And then this doesn't work. So, we're waiting for, the next announcement. This will be Terminator 3. How many times can I get excited? They did that showing us Robert Pattinson as Batman, and they do the video and you see his, him turn to the camera and everything, and the new bat symbol and everything. And I'm looking at it going, it was like 5 years ago they did the same thing for Affleck. Affleck only came 2 years after Christian Bale. How many times can I watch them do this? The unveiling of the new Batman. I don't know. If I never went to the movies again in a theater, I'd be okay. I'm just saying. That's just me. And one of the reasons I think I would be okay is Movies like The Wizard of Lies don't come out in theater anymore, or at least very rarely. And so what you're stuck with is, auditoriums full of superhero movies and action movies and movies that the studios have sort of banked on. Here, we've spent $300 million on this and another $150 million in advertising. Aren't we impressive? Yes, that the special effects and all that can be very impressive, but a good performance from a great actor like Robert De Niro is equally as impressive, if not more so. And I miss that in movies. And you have to turn to streaming and cable to get that now. And it's sad. Wizard of Lies, 4 out of 5 stars. It's not a classic. This is not like, if I were going to rank De Niro's top 10 performances, I don't think this would make it. But since he's so amazing, if you did De Niro's top 20 performances, you'd still have amazing performances in each movie. So 4 out of 5 stars. Grown-up movie. It's a grown-up movie. If you're the type of person who something doesn't blow up every 5 seconds, you're bored, then this is not for you. For the rest of you who would like to see a movie for adults about subject matter that requires you to put some thought into it, I would recommend Wizard of Lies quite highly.
The worlds.
Sort of gave myself the challenge of, okay,